Good day, everyone. This is Jeth, Earl, Andrada, and welcome to our English 115 class about mythology and folklore. Today, we are going to discuss about the American folklore, which will be focusing on the myth of Bloody Mary. But before we start, let us first have our pre-activity. Our pre-activity is entitled Complete Me. Instructions: fill in the missing letters to get the word that is being described. Number 1. It is a female ruler of an independent state, especially one who inherits the position by right of birth. Number 2. The red liquid that circulates in the arteries and veins of humans and other vertebrate animals, carrying oxygen to and carbon dioxide from the tissues of the body. Number 3. A country that is a part of United Kingdom. Fourth, a member or follower of any of the Western Christian churches that are separate from the Roman Catholic Church and follow the principles of Reformation, including the Baptist, Presbyterian, and Lutheran churches. Lastly, a person who belongs to the Universal Christian Church. The myth of Bloody Mary. The woman behind the infamous Bloody Mary story and childhood game is more sad than she is scary. Standing in a dark bathroom, illuminated by a single candle, you simply look into the mirror and chant her name 3 times. Bloody Mary. A ghost is then to appear, sometimes holding a dead baby, other times promising to come after yours. While folklore may be fabricated, the woman behind the mirror and the story of Bloody Mary was as real as can be. The Bloody Mary story lies with Queen Mary the first queen regnant of England. The legendary monarch, now known as Bloody Mary, was born on February 18, 1516, in Greenwich, England, at the Palace of Placentia. The only child of King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, Mary's lifetime of shame over her own femininity began at the young age of 17, when her father annulled his marriage to her mother, frustrated by the lack of a male heir to the throne. This left the young Mary totally separated from her mother and forbidden from visiting her again. The king went on to marry his now ex-wife's maid of honor, Anne Boleyn, who disappointed him with yet another daughter, Elizabeth. Worried that Mary may interfere with Elizabeth's succession, Boleyn pressed Parliament to declare Mary illegitimate, and then she succeeded. Of course, Boleyn was later beheaded by her husband for treason, but by this time, the damage to Mary's name had been done, and she stood last in line for a seat on the throne. During her teen years, Mary had been plagued with terrible menstrual pains and irregularities in her cycles, and this ends up to her eventual physical and psychological stress later in life. She was also known to be struck with deep and frequent periods of melancholia, depressive spells which would stay with her throughout her relatively short life. Despite all the odds and afflictions stuck against her, Mary did eventually take the throne in 1553 at the age of 37 and promptly married Philip of Spain in the hopes of conceiving an heir. It is here where the origin of the Bloody Mary legend begins to take shape. Starved for love and forever seeking the approval of her father, Mary would replay this codependent pattern with her new husband, whom she was ready to lavish all her frustrated emotions on. 10 years her junior, and in no way as excited to reciprocate her amorous feelings, Philip fulfilled the negotiated duties expected of a royal marriage, and 2 months later, Mary's greatest wish came true. She was with child. Despite displaying the usual symptoms of pregnancy, including swelling of the breast and an ever-growing abdomen, the public remained suspicious of the Queen's recent good fortune, and it didn't take long for rumors of a false pregnancy to start spreading. In a time